Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you daily in-depth coverage of your Green Bay Packers every day, Monday through Friday, all year long. Don't forget to hit like and to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode as soon as they drop. Today, we're going to discuss another one of the free agents who the Packers have to make a decision on this offseason. And GM Brian Gutekunst, he's got a number of tough decisions. The good news is the Packers do have cap space, plenty of it, and they can create more than $50 million in additional cap space just by restructuring some of the players that they have already under contract. So whatever the Packers want to do, they should have enough cap space to do it. The question is, how do you use those cap dollars wisely? And here's the thing TJ Slaton gives you. He is, been with the Packers now for 4 years, a former fifth-round pick back in 2021. And for a fifth-round pick, he's been productive. He was a backup for 2 years, then a starter for 2 years, had 30 total tackles in 2024, including 2 tackles for loss and 1 sack. Again, that is not overwhelming statistics, but that's kind of, his job description is that as a big guy at 6'4", 330 pounds, and that's what he's listed at. He could be even bigger, but his job is to occupy blockers, hold his ground at the point of attack, and really free up linebackers and other defensive players to make plays because of what he's doing. Now, Slaton is originally a nose tackle, and when the Packers moved to Jeff Hafley as the defensive coordinator and ended up being a 4-3 team rather than a 3-4, the nose tackle position, it's a little different in the 4-3. It's not even considered a nose. There's 2 defensive tackles. Sometimes, one of them plays more of a nose tackle type of position, but it's not the same as when you're in a 3-man front. And as a result, we saw the number of plays, the percentage of plays that Slaton had go down. Why? Slaton is essentially a run-down player. He comes off the field in obvious passing situations. So if he does his job well on 1st and 10, when you get to 2nd and 8, 3rd and 7, he comes off the field because, under those circumstances, you want Devontae Wyatt and Kenny Clark out there rather than TJ Slaton. So he is not an every down player. 39% of the team's defensive snaps, he is essentially a role player. And ironically, Pro Football Focus graded him as a better pass rusher than run defender, which is kind of ironic because run defense is really his thing. And yet, keep in mind that the Packers rank 7th in the NFL in rushing yards allowed and 3rd in rushing yards allowed per carry. So clearly, whether or not Slaton grades out well with Pro Football Focus, he is contributing to the success of the run defense, or at least he did during the 2024 season. Now, here's the thing. You look going forward, and it becomes a value question. After 4 seasons, TJ Slaton is a solid, space-eating, nose tackle, run defender. But he's a role player. He is not an every down guy. He is what he is after 4 seasons. Very rarely in someone's 5th NFL year do you see them take this big jump where all of a sudden his role is going to change. So what is that worth to the Green Bay Packers going forward? He had a cap hit of $3.18 million roughly last season. That was the highest in the final year of his 4-year entry-level deal. But now, if he hits the open market, what is he worth? And the estimates are that Slaton would earn somewhere between $4 and $4.5 million a year. signing a new deal as an unrestricted free agent. So the question is this: is that a good deal for the Green Bay Packers? Keep in mind that the 2025 NFL Draft, which is going to take place in April in Green Bay, is deep at defensive tackle. And the Packers should be able to add a quality defensive tackle on day 3 of the draft if they're looking to have a new rookie come in and fill TJ Slaton's role. The issue with that, however, is with rookies, you don't know how long it's going to take them to make the adjustment to the NFL, whether or not, you could find a rookie who is not as good as TJ Slaton, better than TJ Slaton, or more likely a guy who will not be as good initially and then has the potential to become better than Slaton once he gains a little experience. So it is a gamble to go out and bring in someone new for less money, but it's a calculated gamble. You could also sign undrafted free agents. Again, run stuffing defensive tackle is not typically a highly paid position. Pass rushers get the big bucks when it comes to defensive linemen and edge rushers. So to me, I would let TJ Slaton test the market. If he finds a deal for $4.5 million a year, let him go. If, on the other hand, the market is kind of cold and he only gets, a $3 million or $3.5 million deal, maybe the Packers say, you know what? We'll match it. We'll bring him back for 2-3 years and go with a guy who we know. We like his work ethic. We know what he's capable of doing, and he fits in well in the locker room. We'll bring him back. To me, it's all going to be about value. And the Packers and Brian Gutekunst kind of have to set a cutoff line as to what they're willing to pay Slaton. Right now, there's nobody else on this roster. Kenny Clark could play nose, but they didn't want him to do that. And Clark is not the traditional space-eating nose tackle. So there's no one else on the roster right now who would fill that position. But that doesn't mean they couldn't add one. So again, I think they let Slaton test the market. And if he comes back and doesn't find a lucrative deal elsewhere, I'd welcome him back with open arms because he is a solid role player for the Green Bay Packers. For more in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers, you can check out our website at thepackerspost.com. Plus, again, we are here every day, Monday through Friday. Hit like, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I'm Gil Martin. Thank you so much for watching the Daily Packers Post. And of course, go Pack Go.